Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing my video in my unicorn blanket because it is freezing. The heat broke and it's freezing. So I'm just gonna do this in my blanket. For the next couple of days, we're gonna dive into organizing your to-do list, organizing your planner, and getting things like that done. So for the first video, we're gonna talk about how to get started with organizing. So one of the things that you have to do before you start planning and organizing your day, before you start planning and organizing your week, your month, your year, whatever it is, you have to acknowledge a few things first. And one of the things you have to acknowledge is what behaviors get in your way. What are some of the things that you do that stand in your own way? Things like procrastination, fear, laziness, all of that comes into play when planning. And one of the things that you have to know is that your behavior now affects your future. So the bad behaviors that you're holding on to right now will affect your future and will get in the way of your future. And it can possibly hinder the greatness that's inside of you and hinder the greatness that you're trying to achieve because you're holding on to these bad habits. One of the things you have to do is be honest with yourself. When you do the following steps, don't think of it as a waste of time. Don't think of it as a burden, but think of it as an investment into your future. This is what you're doing to invest in your future. Now, this is not the only way to do it. This is just how I do it. This is what I've done to get started with my planning. These are tips that I do once a year. I do this to evaluate where I am in life and what I've done. And because usually by the end of the year, you've developed habits or you've been doing these habits for a while, and it just helps you to see what you're doing, where you're going, what are you spending your time on. You have to identify what your bad habits are and where you're wasting time. With this exercise, it will show you that. It will show you exactly where you're wasting time and what kind of habits you have. And we're not talking about biting nails and, a tick or something like that. We're talking about bad habits in action. So watching too many videos, playing too many games, spending too much time laying in the bed instead of getting up and getting things done. Those kinds of habits. Now, when you're working on your goals for the year, you can add those other habits that you have in, like biting your nails and things like that, as things you want to work on, and then set goals as to how you will stop doing that. But that's not what we're talking about right now. So I'm going to pull you in closer to show you what I've done and explain it to you. Don't worry about that. That was my daughter. She was kind of upset with me having a bad day. She thought I wasn't paying enough attention to her. So she likes to leave me notes on my pages to let me know what's going on with her. See, on this day, when I was working on this page, she loved me again. So you might see all different kinds of stuff on my notebook like that. See, Mom, she's so silly. One of the first things that you want to do is track your activity through the week. What do you do on a daily basis? How do you do it on a daily basis? And that way, when you start planning, you know what to plan. Because you know where you waste time, you know where you're spending the most time, and then you can change what your daily activities are according to that. So I think this also shows you some of your bad habits that you may have and help you acknowledge those things in your life. So what I did is just track for 7 days everything that I did. And don't be afraid to get detailed. The more detailed you are, the better it is for you. And just know that you were the only one looking at this, so you don't have to worry about being embarrassed about what's on here or whatever. I started on a Friday. You can start on any day of the week. You can start on a Monday, in the middle of the week, the beginning of the week, whatever. It does not matter. Just start. So when you start, you track when you wake up, what you do after you wake up, and what you do after that. Everything that you do after that, you track. So here I woke up on Friday at 7:10 a.m. and I played games until 8:08 a.m. And then after that, I got on social media until 9:49 a.m. So one of the things I think that you should do, or would be a good idea to do that I did not do, is have a timer. So when you start something, start the timer, do what you're doing, and then when you finish, press stop, write that time down. That's not what I did here. I actually finished my entire week and then came back and went on a site and calculated how much time from 7:10 a.m. to 8:08 a.m., how much time is that? And then I put that next to it. So to avoid having to do all of this, once you're done, you can do the whole timer idea. But if not, I will leave the link of the site that I use to get this information. So also for me, what I have here, bath plus games plus me time until 11:22 a.m. That means I was playing games in the shower, and I also brushed my teeth, washed my face, washed my hair, and did all that kind of stuff in the shower. Bath or shower, I just say bath because that's what I do. And then me time is always me taking time out to take care of myself. And I have husband plus games with social media for 2 hours and 18 minutes, which means I was talking to my husband while playing games and going on social media throughout this 2 hours and 18 minutes. I stopped at 1:40 p.m. So I did Friday, and then I did games here until 1:51 a.m. and then I woke up at 8 a.m. And then what I did here, because this is when I woke up, so from this time when I stopped playing games to the time I woke up was 6 hours and 9 minutes. And that's how I dictated how much sleep I got. Anyway, so all this in red is how much time spent. So now what you're gonna do is take each thing and then average it out. For each thing that you've done, make a category for it. So sleep, and then you'll say, so again, Saturday, 6 hours and 9 minutes, 6 hours, 9 minutes. And then what you want to do is total that. So take the total amount of what this is. You'll convert that number into decimal hours using the link in the description below, and divide that number by however many times you have in this category. So let's say you have 7 times for 7 days that you've been sleeping, and then you would divide that by 7. And then you would get a decimal number, and then you would put that decimal number into the decimal slot, and then it will convert it into hours and minutes for you. So then this will tell you on an average day how much time you spent sleeping. And you want to do that for each category. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll get back to you when I'm done. Or using the website that's linked down below in the description, and that will also give you a average for 7 days. Please be careful with this, as I got 2 different answers with doing it manually and using the website. So they were pretty close, but It's like the minutes were off on each one of them, and I think that's because the way the site asks you to type in the hours and minutes, it kind of throws you off. But so I would do it manually, but you can also use the site. I did it both ways. I suggest that you guys do is cross out as you go. So if you recorded this time, then cross it out. Because before I was doing that, I missed a lot of stuff. So here I had to add in a lot of stuff on the sides. So crossing it out as you go will ensure that you don't miss anything. And you won't have to go back and recalculate time. These are my calculations for 7 days, which means I sleep for about 4 hours and 56 minutes a day. I play games for about 1 hour and 30 minutes a day. I'm out of the house for about 5 hours and 34 minutes a day, but that's based on 7 days, but I don't go out every day. Split up between 2 or 3 days out of the week. And this was taken on a very busy week where I had a lot of stuff going on. So I was out of the house a lot more. I didn't have time for games and videos as much as I usually do. So this is even a little off. So when you do this, you might want to do it on average week and not on a week where you have a lot of other things planned that you don't normally have planned. Because I did this during December. December was a very, very, very busy month for me. So there was no clean weeks. I just picked a week and went with it. So if I did this on an average day, it would look a lot different than this. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you learn from this. I hope this helps you. And I hope you can learn from this and be able to schedule your life and organize your life a little bit better after realizing where all your time is going.